Welcome to Diary of an Ex-Ho. I'm Cheri Hardman. I'm your ex-ho, and today's guest is Tony Daniel. So sit back, relax, enjoy the episode, and remember the old saying, always a bridesmaid when you're a hoe.
Hey, I am Tony Daniel. I am originally from North Carolina. I'm now living in Seattle, Washington. I am a heterosexual male or straight. My pronouns are he, him, and motherfucker, whatever, whoever's mad at me calls me at that time. And I am in a long-term relationship with the woman for like about 20 years.
Okay. Well, I'm glad to have you here. You're one of my favorite people to work with.
Oh,
So,
that's great.
yeah.
I like your comedy also.
All right. So, the first thing that we do is a marry, shag, kill.
Okay.
All right. So I'm going to have three people. You're going to have to pick which one you're going to marry, which one you're going to shag, and which one you're going to kill.
Okay.
Let me go get my screen. Um, Share screen. I'm going to share. Oop, I didn't go to the. That's okay. I can fix it. Boom, 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 boom. Shit. Why is it not going to the right thing? There we go. Okay. I try to always orient this to the person I'm with. I worked with you several times, but I don't know you that well. But I figure that you would appreciate a grown-ass woman.
Right.
So your choices are all grown-ass women. So so you have three choices: Shaka Khan, Diana Ross, Vanessa Williams. Who are you gonna marry? Who are you gonna shag? Who are you gonna kill?
Mary, Vanessa Williams. Uh, you must think I'm really old because you. Let's see. Uh, Shag, Shaka Khan, and kill Diana Ross.
All right. Bye, Diana.
All right.
Okay. When it comes to sex, would you rather watch or be watched?
Uh, Probably would say at this age, watch. If I was younger, it would probably be watched. I'm Leo, so
You're a Leo, huh?
yeah. So Leo, I used to try to set up stuff where I'd have a mirror in my room so I could watch myself.
Yeah, things are less fun to watch the older you get.
Yeah, yeah.
When you were a kid, what did your parents or whoever raised you call private parts?
Uh, let's see here. I was raised by a single mom, and at the age that I was, back in the '70s, probably just, dick, pussy, whatever. But it
Mm-hmm.
wasn't a lot of sexual discussion going on between kids and parents back then.
Right, for sure.
My
Um,
sexual talk from my mom was, "Don't get anybody pregnant." That was it.
did she tell you how to not get anyone pregnant?
No, she just said, "Don't bring no babies in this damn house." That was it. That was my sex talk.
Um, did okay, so your parents weren't together at all?
Right.
All right. Did she ever get married or was she single the whole time you were growing up?
Yeah, single. She had, a long-term boyfriend.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, during my teenage years. Yeah.
Would you say that you had any good role models of how a relationship should be?
Um, it was kind of a mixed bag. I mean, you saw some people and you were like, I'm not going to do that when I grow up. And then you saw some more stable people that seems like they had, like, I have an uncle and aunt that I was very close to that's been married for like 40, 50 years. So you'd be like, okay, I'll do that, but I don't want to do the Friday night, get drunk and fight and call the police and then bail each other out type thing. I didn't want to do that. Yeah.
How do you think that, like, what you observed affected you and your relationships when you got older?
I think it, definitely affected me a lot. I just, just you get affected by what you see, and then you also kind of like the stuff that you see on TV. So I think, I'm 54, so back then the TV showed you like the Brady Bunch and these different long-term couples, and it was all happily ever after. And then you kind of see things around you where it was kind of more chaotic, and I just knew I didn't want that. And so now I'm more, just chill and let's kind of work together. And if it's not working out, just move on. Yeah.
That makes sense. Okay, so now I want you to tell me kind of about what I call your sexual awakening. So that would be when you first notice that there's something going on in this world that I didn't previously know, whether it was something you observed or uh, something you were told, or just changes that were happening in your body. Can you kind of tell me about that?
Yeah. Well, kind of growing up back, in the 70s and 80s, you did a lot of you're hanging out with kids that are different ages. So when you're kind of sometimes hanging out with older kids, you start hearing about stuff and a lot of little myths and things like that, and finding magazines and VHS tapes. And I mean, I'm old enough to remember when it was like we had a drive-in theater back home that showed sexual movies, and
Oh,
we would
yeah.
sneak. Yeah, and we would sneak in the field, and then we would watch the movie, and then you're looking at it. You don't even know what the hell you're looking at, but you know you're not supposed to be looking at it. And then you go and look at what you got and be like, oh, he got this and he's doing that with it. And one day I'll get to do that with it. And I wish I could do what he's doing with her, with the girl across the street and that kind of stuff. So
Right.
yeah, yeah. So of the same age though, you don't want to be like messing around with nobody too young. So yeah.
Right. That's interesting because I forgot about that because we had the Valley Six drive-in there in Auburn slash Kent, and
Yeah.
you could be watching your G-rated movie, but if you just turn your head around, there was a dirty one right over there. I remember that.
Yeah, we had one drive-in back home, and it was in the South. So something would happen, and it would be pornography. And then I guess they'd have an election, and then they'd stop the pornography, and then it would become a regular like movie theater type drive-in. And my
Mm-hmm.
mom actually worked at it, and yeah, she worked. She was like the snack person, popcorn lady. And I remember somebody asking me like, "Hey, your mom works at that theater. You know it's a porn place." And I was like, "What?" And I didn't even know what the hell porn was. I think they just called it dirty movies or whatever. And then later on, back then people didn't supervise kids as much. So like you just go where the hell ever. And we ended up going up there and taking a look at it. And I just remember like, oh my God, this is crazy. But I liked it. I mean,
Right. Did that
so
make you think anything different about your mom?
no, no, it was just a job. I mean, she just,
Right.
got you, popcorn and sodas. I mean, you could come up there and get it. And then I think they used to have the speakers that you put in your car and then you could hear it. And then, yeah. So it was just kind of wild.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Did you have any celebrity crushes when you were younger?
Oh, yeah. Like, to age myself, I mean, like, Thelma from Good Times, Daisy Duke, from the Dukes of Hazzard, Wonder Woman, Linda Carter.
Mm-hmm.
Daisy Duke from the Dukes of Hazzard was, so fine that for us young black guys, we even forgot that they had a Confederate flag on the car.
Yeah, that's true. I
Racism
didn't.
be damned. Look at that ass.
Yeah. uh, yeah. Can you think of like any mainstream movie that had like a sex scene that you thought was particularly hot?
let's see, mainstream movies. So back in the 80s, you had like HBO and Cinemax, and they'd have little movies and they'd have a sex scene. Like I remember, I want to say the scene from Fast Time at Ridgemont High with the guy in the bathroom. I think it was
Mm-hmm.
Phoebe Cates. You had, I think it was it Brooke Shields, like Blue Lagoon or something like that.
Yeah.
Uh, Also like the old like 70s black exploitation movies. So like Pam Grier. So they'd always have like these Superfly type movies, and then it'll be somebody like Pam Grier, and she do a topless scene. So you was always looking for that because I don't think that the younger generation can appreciate how hard it was to like see boobs and porn back then. You really had to like seek it out. So it was no like, oh, I just happened to find this. It was like, no, you know, I gotta.
Right.
You had to hoard it. You had to hoard it. You had to find it and hoard it and hide it. You know.
I remember whenever we were out in the woods, we would always find a dirty magazine out in the woods.
Yeah, yeah. And if you had somebody like if you had a man in your neighborhood and he was like a bachelor or lived by himself, you could pretty much guess that there would be some kind of porn around, or if you had an uncle or a dad. And
Uh-huh.
I remember this one guy. He moved out of the neighborhood, and we happened to pass by his trash can, and it must have been like 10 magazines, and we all like grabbed them, and then we put them in a bag and hid them out in the woods. And we had a little clubhouse, and we would just go out there to view them, and then you would like go grab the magazine, take it to your house, bring it back. I mean, it was just crazy. And it
Do
was
you did
girls too watching it. You know, yeah,
Well, yeah, we were curious, right?
yeah, yeah.
Do you watch porn now?
Yes, sometimes. Yeah.
Do you have a go-to category you're willing to admit to?
I'm into natural and different things. I just can't really do the whole yeah, yeah, pretty much natural breasts. They don't have to be huge, just natural breasts. And
Mm-hmm.
you know, yeah.
Okay. What's your definition of amazing sex?
Uh hmm, uh, uh well, at this age, everything's working and everything's working, and both of us have a good time. But yeah, everything's working and both of us have a good time.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, in my younger days, it's kind of weird because you might have somebody that you're interested in and you just can't wait to have sex with them, and then you have it, and then it's just like, okay, and then somebody else, you're just like, oh, okay, well, yeah, we'll do it. Don't rock my world around here.
All right. We're gonna go spin the wheel of dirty questions.
Okay.
You ready? Let me go find
Yes.
Let me go find it. All right. We're just gonna get one question. What's your favorite sex toy?
Yeah, I don't really use sex toys. It's whoever, whatever woman I'm with, and whatever parts of her body are the best, it's the sex toy.
All right, I'm trying to get a different question and it gave me the same one again. Let's try again. It really wants you to answer that one. Okay, here we go. Would you prefer to be in control or to be dominated?
I would say dominated to a certain extent because it would seem more like she wants me.
Mm,
And I think it's just kind of being a Leo and you want to kind of like be adored and,
Right.
somebody wants you. So
Hmm. I get that. How's your body image?
I'm pretty secure in my body image with the lights off.
Mm-hmm. What's the best compliment you've ever gotten on your naked body?
Uh like if a woman says wow or they didn't expect that or to be big, it's kind of hard being a black guy because it's such an expectation.
Right. Do you have any sexual regrets?
Uh yeah, I think of course you would like to have had more. uh I, I would say I probably made some bad choices when I was younger and maybe stuck around in some situations just because of sex.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Do you have anything left on your sexual bucket list, or have you done everything you set out to do?
I would say, yeah, the thing about it being a man, I think a lot of times we think that we're freaks and we're not really freaks. We're more like we just want to have a lot of sex with different people. So I'm not too like, I'm trying to do a whole lot of different, tie me up, whip me type things. So
Uh-huh.
yeah, I'd say I've pretty much done all I wanted to do, but I would say I would like to do it with more people.
What's your host song? Like what song when you hear it brings out your host spirit?
Uh, old Two Live Crew, hey, we want some pussy. Baby got back. I think in our age group they had those type of songs that were, sexually explicit, and you have a few drinks or smoke a little weed, and you're
Uh-huh.
with people that you're comfortable with. Yeah.
Yeah. What's your Instagram?
Comedian Tony Daniel or Tony Daniel Comedian.
All right. I think this episode is going to come out like probably about a month, about 4 weeks from now. So, do you have anything going on? That's so weird. All I can see right now is your ear for some reason. But
Oh,
there we
okay.
go. In about a month, do you have anything you want to promote?
Let's see. June 8th, I'm going to be in Kirkland. Uh, I got some things coming up. So I'm going to be in Kirkland working with Susan Rice. Uh, yeah, you have to check my Instagram because I just got a couple of dates and I'm not totally sure like
Right.
where the actual venues are. But yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
All right. Check out his Instagram. All right. Now it's time for you to tell me a story about sex in any capacity you want to tell me.
Uh, let's see, like a sexual situation or
Yeah, sometimes people like to tell something that was unusual or embarrassing or funny or exciting.
oh man, I should have had a couple of drinks and then you'd have to cut me off.
That's okay. If it takes you a while to think, we can just cut out the thinking part. So,
Okay, well, uh, I was in the Navy, so I've traveled kind of around the world, and I've had some interesting things of me, donating to local economies in the name of sex.
yeah.
And I happened to be in Jamaica and at a house that was selling things, and
Uh-huh.
uh, I was in a strip club, and then I was kicking it with this lady, and we agreed upon a price, and so we did our thing. And the place that we were in, the bathroom to wash up was outside, and so I went outside to wash up, and I hear a knock on the door, and it was another lady. offering services, but she wasn't as hot as the woman that was inside. But um, I went on and did her too. I mean, because I had some money left over. We had been out to see her for a couple, so that's kind of wild.
So I've always wondered about this. So like I hear that that goes on and everything, but uh, do the guys like catch STDs or no?
Yes, you can. You
Yeah.
can definitely catch STDs. Now, when you go in, you're in boot camp, and then right before you get out of boot camp, they usually show you this video, and it talks to you about STD, and it tells you all the. Well, it actually is a very graphic video that shows what happens in prolonged, untreated causes of STDs. So, like, you see people with like their gums receding and their teeth falling out. They show sexual parts with sores and calluses and all kinds of different liquids leaking out.
Mm-hmm.
So it's highly recommended that you practice safety and all kinds of stuff like that. Now, of course, some people are don't listen, and whenever we would go to like a new city or port, sometimes, like, let's say we pull into a place on Thursday and we leave on Monday. Usually that Tuesday, there will be a line at the sick hall of people who have caught stuff.
Right.
And the funny thing is, uh, you kind of know what that line is for, so you might see your homeboy in that line. He's like, oh, there you go, Johnson, and stuff like that. So, yeah.
When you're young, you think nothing like that's going to happen to you.
You do have that thought that nothing's going to happen to you, but you know, um, that's not something that I would do now. And you really have to think about it. Like, even if you're practicing safe sex, I mean, you're putting your life on the line
Mm-hmm.
for like a $2 condom. I mean, you know, you're going for, yeah, you're just young and taking a lot of chances.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, we're done.
All right.
That was a lot of fun. I will edit this and I'll let you know when it's coming out. In the meantime, everybody can follow you on Instagram. Thank you so much for being here.
All right. Thank you.
All right. Bye
All
bye.
right. Okay. Bye.